So if I'm thinking about what would I want for every student at the high school, I would want them to get 3 times as smart, or have their academic aptitude increased by a level of 3 or 4, or whatever the amount would be. So if you do that, if you achieve that every kid grows by triples their academic output.
Well, the bigger something is, the harder it is to grow.
In that regard?
So here's the thing. I mean, this is the nature of numbers. My children have been the fastest growing human beings in my family for the last 16 plus years. I'm still the biggest. And so my point being, the lower a number is, right, the more room there is for growth, to put it in that context, then the more that growth can happen. If someone's already achieving at a scholarship cup level, like a valedictory level, certainly they've already really gotten closer to that, quote, ceiling, right? And so there's danger, I think, in trying to...
I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
You're not saying that a kid coming into the high school that is very advanced in his aptitude, there's no ceiling.
Of course.
You want to grow that.
Yeah, you want to build the floors higher and higher. Right? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But my point is that if someone is closer to the ground, to use this metaphor, their growth, there's just more untapped there in terms of literacy. I mean, so much is literacy. The ability to read and to comprehend that reading, and then to apply that to whatever's being taught, that is enormous. And that's one thing that I think we need to really look at.
Okay, and then so after my college, I was a English as a second language teacher in Poland in the Peace Corps, and what I found was that it was very challenging to teach English to these Polish kids, because there was such a wide range of English speakers in some of these classes. I'd have 22 kids, and there were some kids who I could have a conversation with, and other kids that I couldn't even say hello, how are you to.
Right.
So when I taught those classes, in the most extreme cases, it was nearly impossible to satisfy the kid who could barely say a sentence and the kid who was almost conversational. So I think that skeptics, and I would count myself as one, questions how a teacher is going to be able to teach to such a wide range of aptitudes in a track that is basically for all students.
I hear you, and it's not going to happen overnight. And I'm thinking about these are our future adults. For, I would say this in college with my fraternity. The fraternity was for 3 or 4 years for students, and then you were an alum for decades. And so these are people who are going to have, hopefully, half a century, close to a century more of life and the arc of their life. And this is such a pivotal time. And so I don't think it's helpful to constantly be thinking in terms of the short-term impact of what's happening today or this week or even this first year. I realize that time is precious for all of us. And so, but the ability for us to reach more students, to be able to open more doors for everyone, and this is not just for the lowest achieving students or for ethnic minority students, this is for all students, right? The reports that I've read, the studies show that there's a benefit to all students when there's a more diverse environment, students learning from each other. And I can testify to that in my own experiences when I've had more multicultural experiences in my...
Is that a concern of yours that you start losing some of your top students?
No.
No?
It's a hypothetical scenario that you have painted there, right? And so
a little bit,
right? I mean, and what constitutes top? Is it someone who gets straight A's, but it doesn't have the social skills to navigate the world?
I mean, it takes all types, and you want all types, right?
Right.
And I just think if it's something to, I think, be cognizant of.
Yeah, I hear you. And, it's impossible to truly have parallel universes to know how many students would have come if not for this, right? And people are notorious, we all are, for our ostensible reasons for doing something. Oftentimes you peel that onion back and there's a lot of other things going on.
All right. Well, I think the bottom line is we both recognize that there's something not right in the current iteration of honors versus college prep, and while we may disagree on the best way to handle that, I do applaud the school for taking a look at it and
We
trying
have
to-
common ground. It's a refreshing thing, isn't it?